Well guys, this is the last one, I promise. This is going to be the last video I make on this whole MrBeast fiasco we've been going through over the last couple of weeks because honestly, I'm kind of just tired of talking about it. And what we're talking about today is the exact reason why. Now, if you have somehow gone the last month without hearing about any of this MrBeast drama, then I don't even really know where I would start. If I were to try and give you a full recap, it would take so long that I would end up spending more time giving you the recap than I would talking about the actual topic of today's video. So I'm not going to do that, but what I will do is try and give you some context in 30 seconds or less. So basically, over the last month, here's what's happened. Ava Chris Tyson, one of MrBeast's best friends and a long-running member of the MrBeast channel, was exposed for some really weird and predatory online behavior, which included messaging a minor. MrBeast was called out for knowing about this and doing nothing, which led to Ava Chris Tyson and the MrBeast channel parting ways. Shortly after that, a YouTuber named Dogpack404 made a video that went viral, accusing MrBeast of faking his videos, exploiting his audience, and running illegal lotteries. MrBeast and his team apparently sent a cease and desist letter to Dogpack404. That, and the video going viral in the first place, put MrBeast in a lot of hot water, which was only made worse after accusations came out that MrBeast Project Beast Games, a game show he's producing for Amazon Prime, are being ran and managed so poorly that people are nearly dying trying to participate. Now, obviously, every situation I just mentioned is a little bit more nuanced than something that can really be explained in a single sentence. If you want the full stories, if you want all the information, I'll put links to a couple of videos in the top right corner, but I feel like having that brief explanation is really all you need for today. Because for today's video to make sense, all you really need to know is that 1, MrBeast has gotten a lot of backlash for every single thing that I described, and 2, it has all happened in the time between his last upload and his most recent upload. This is important because I feel like it really is going to highlight just how pointless talking about stuff like this can sometimes be. Yesterday, MrBeast uploaded Survive 100 Days in a Nuclear Bunker, win $500,000. And since that video has come out, there have been multiple Twitter threads accusing MrBeast of censoring any negative comments that video receives. Screenshots and videos have popped up showing people's comments being removed almost instantly if they mention anything about Ava Chris Tyson, anything about the videos being fake. Basically, just any reference to anything that's happened over these last few weeks is apparently getting your comment nuked immediately. Now, while this is something that's kind of hard to prove, I'm inclined to believe these claims for a few reasons. One being that earlier today, once I saw all of these accusations, I went to the comment section of this video and I saw a lot of comments doing the same thing. Now, I wish I would have taken screenshots or something, but I just kind of wasn't thinking about it. But the few negative comments that I saw were all one word, if that makes sense. Like, it was people typing out full sentences without spacing anything, I guess to get past the auto moderation of this comment section. And a lot of those comments had a lot of likes. Also, none of them were older than 10 minutes. I'm looking at the top comments right now, and they're nowhere to be seen. Some of these comments had like 20 or 30,000 likes 8 hours ago. They definitely would have had a lot more now, and they're nowhere to be seen. Another thing that I think is really fishy is that this is currently the #1 trending video on YouTube, like basically every new MrBeast upload is, and I'll show you what happens if you filter the comments by newest. It's really hard for me to believe that a video that is getting hundreds of thousands of views a minute is only getting one comment every couple of minutes. And if you scroll through these comments, whether you sort by top comment or whether you sort by new comment, look through all the replies, no matter what you do, you will not find anything that mentions what has been the biggest controversy of the last month straight. If you think that nobody is coming to give MrBeast a piece of their mind, you're insane. These comments are 100% being censored in some capacity. Now, why is this important? Why should you care that these comments are being censored? Well, MrBeast is without a doubt the biggest YouTube figure of all time. I doubt there will ever be anybody who's bigger than MrBeast. And over the last month, he's been accused of some pretty serious stuff. And look, this was not some isolated incident of somebody who seemed like they were just trying to get famous. This was dozens upon dozens of different sources saying different things, all bad. I feel like the last month deserves to be addressed. Now look, I'm not saying he needs to make a YouTube video where he whines and cries for forgiveness and all that shit, but a tweet addressing the fact that somebody says you've been running illegal lotteries for the last few years, taking advantage of children, faking everything you do, hosting a game show where people are having seizures or getting bones broken by other participants, participants. I mean, these are things that I feel like you should at least say aren't happening, right? Trying to sweep all of this under the rug just seems like a really shitty thing to do, and sending cease and desist letters to the people making these videos and deleting any sort of comment that references anything that's happened makes it seem like that's what the MrBeast team is trying to do. Now, you might be asking yourself, why should you care about this? Why should you care whatsoever that MrBeast is deleting comments and trying to sweep all of this controversy under the rug? Well, the reality is that you probably shouldn't. When it comes to situations like this, when we're looking at a MrBeast kind of figure, a person of that kind of fame, wealth, and success, if the people above him are not willing to do anything, there's nothing to be done. Now, this would be slightly different if the primary audience of MrBeast was young adults or older, but it's not. I mean, I've got to imagine the average MrBeast viewer is between like 10 and 13 probably. When you have a person who is as successful as MrBeast, who does not directly work for anybody, or does not like rely on a certain industry to give them work, and their audience is full of 11-year-olds, there's literally nothing to be done here. Because for anything meaningful to be done to MrBeast to force his hand to respond to these allegations or make anything right, one of those things would have to be true. Now look, I'm not trying to put on my like Hollywood conspiracy theory hat here, but this is just reality. If a big-time celebrity does something they shouldn't, they're forced to apologize by their PR team, because if they don't, they won't get movies anymore. They won't get TV shows, they won't get commercials. They are relying on Hollywood for work, so they have to make sure they comply with Hollywood. If your audience is made up of young adults or adults, they will have a more developed sense of morals than a 12-year-old will, and if you do something bad enough, they will not want to watch you anymore because they won't want to support you. When neither of those things are the case for MrBeast, why would he do anything? YouTube sponsorships are generally kind of shady as is, so I doubt any of them are going to stop working with them. Amazon is Amazon. I honestly can't think of a better fitting company for MrBeast to work with to make a game show where the working conditions are apparently terrible. So other than those two things, I don't really think MrBeast is relying on anybody but children. He seems to fund all of his videos. YouTube would not ban MrBeast if he killed somebody. The amount of money that man is making Google and the amount of people he is bringing to YouTube at no more cost to YouTube than any other YouTuber is so extremely valuable to Google that I do not think the man could do anything to have his channel removed. So, I mean, at the end of the day, why waste the mental energy to address any of this? Why hire a PR coach and more lawyers to make sure you're saying the right thing if you don't really need to? The reality is that the portion of his audience who does know what he's being accused of probably doesn't care, and more importantly, most of his audience probably doesn't even have a clue as to what's been going on. Look, this is something I had to come to terms with on my own. Most people are not on the internet nearly as much as you would think they are if you are a person who spends a lot of time on the internet. I guarantee you, majority of MrBeast audience doesn't even know there's a controversy right now. To try and put things into perspective, MrBeast has basically the same amount of subs as there are active Twitter users right now. So while there might be a few million people talking about this on Twitter, that number is nothing compared to over 300 million people. Now, I'm willing to wager most of the people talking about this on Twitter or YouTube are not MrBeast fans to begin with, and it's likely that many of the people watching those videos or interacting with those Twitter threads are also not MrBeast fans. You've got to consider that the average 10-year-old is probably not on Twitter, and they're probably not watching commentary YouTube. When stuff like this happens, when people get called out for doing bad things, I'll often see people make tweets or make statements saying stuff like, how could anybody support them after this? One aspect of that is a lot of people probably just don't know. Again, MrBeast is not exactly a niche content creator. If you sign out of your YouTube account, the default algorithm is going to show you MrBeast all day long. You don't need to be in the know on the internet to watch MrBeast, which is why none of this is going to affect the man's viewership. The few people that do care who stop watching MrBeast will instantly be replaced by a few million 8-year-olds who are instantly directed to MrBeast after they're allowed on YouTube for the first time. The people who really care about this will continue continue to talk about it to the other people that really care about it, and they'll just go back and forth. The rest of the internet will forget about this after a couple of weeks, and then apart from when it comes up in conversation every few months, it'll be like this never happened. There was a moment where a lot of people, myself included, thought, you know what, maybe this will have an effect on this guy's career. This is a lot coming out at once, maybe some people will take notice, but considering that this most recent video is his best performing out of his last 10, I don't think that's happening. Well guys, what do you think? Do you think this last month will have any sort of long-lasting effect on MrBeast or his legacy? Because I don't. I think we've entered an age of the internet where things move so fast that unless you do something truly heinous, you can just about get away with anything. There's so much information being shot at you all the time, so many controversies, so much drama, that it all just kind of slips through the cracks. And even if you are held accountable for something you do, the internet's so damn big these days that it's not that hard to just start over and find a new audience. I think we have officially entered into an age of the internet where accountability is basically optional. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and walk on over to that subscribe button and touch it. It's free. It won't cost you anything. But for now, that's all I have for you today. Bye.